Hello world, welcome to Americana. I'm your host, Willie Montague. This isn't the news they package for you. This isn't the script they want you to follow. Here we dig deeper. Here we confront what others ignore. If you're ready for the truth without a spin, you're in the right place. Stay with us today because you are watching Americana. All right, you guys, this is definitely an episode you do not want to miss. We're going to be talking about the shutdown shock. What is going on with our government? Trump's urban troop threats and cloaked power. What's happening in China? But today, when I tell you we have a special show, not one, not two, but three guests. We have with us today Aja Smith, David D'Ambroso, and Russell Drake. We have a lot coming up on today's episode, but you already know before we get started, drum roll, please. It is time for Willie Steak. All right, everyone. When politicians fail, it's time to call the X-Men. We've tried politicians, we've tried billionaires, we've even tried reality stars. None of them saved the world. Most of them just made it worse. We argue on X, formerly Twitter. We fight on TikTok. We cancel faster than we create. The Avengers are busy in Hollywood. The Justice League never showed up. And Superman still hasn't answered my emails. Face it, we're out of options. So the world needs the X-Men. And I believe that's what we're bringing to the table today, some X-Men out here. So we have Aja, David, and Russell, all respected in their sphere of influence, from a veteran, political consultant to community advocate. Welcome to Americana.
Thank you for having me.
All right. You guys, this is going to be an episode for sure. We're getting ready to hit something that, of course, everyone knows is happening. We're in the middle of a government shutdown. The U.S. government shut down at midnight. Over 750,000 federal workers are now furloughed without pay. Air travel, veteran services, and public safety all on the line. So who pays the price? The politicians or the people? And we're going to do ladies first. And happens to be a veteran, Aja. What are your thoughts about this?
The people pay first. And that's, a little bit background on me. I am a United States Air Force veteran. I served under Bush, Obama, and Trump's first term. Also a former civil service employee. So I've been through a shutdown before. And one of the issues and the key things that I experienced during that time, no, we did not get paid, but we did get our back pay. So that part worked out. But this time around, they're saying that if you're getting furloughed, you're probably going to get fired as well, and it's going to impact where you won't be paid. So that does hurt a lot of people, especially veterans, make up about 30 to 35% of federal civil service employees as well, that their jobs are on the line too. So that's really going to hurt a lot of veterans, especially when it comes to staffing, benefits, and everything else. So it does hurt a lot of local communities, especially like mine, where I have a military installation. And so that type of impact, it will hurt a lot of small local communities that rely on military installations for that revenue to provide jobs as well.
So I'll jump into you two, Russell and David. How long can essential workers run a nation without paychecks? You guys, what do you say? Whoever wants to jump in.
I think it's messed up. Oh, or we can go to you, Dave, if you want first.
Yeah, well, J.D. Vance says he doesn't know how long this is going to go on, and of course he wouldn't. He is the president of the Senate. He's a little bit closer to the situation than any of us. But I do find it remarkable that the Democrats couldn't vote for this when essentially it's the same budget that they passed 6 months ago with just inflation adjustments.
Russell?
Yeah, I'm going to say I definitely it's the people and workers who hurt the most. You don't know who's living close to paycheck to paycheck. Some people need these funds for different things. They certainly need support, especially in our veteran community. There's so many people impacted. Overall, it's easy to point the finger, but it's really it takes both parties have to own the blame of it, right? And it's like we saw this coming. It's no surprise. We saw this coming some months ago, and there should have been some sit down, and there should be some type of consideration to say take some things in that the Democrats have. It to me, according to VP Vance, he's making it sound like there's no play, and all they have to do is sign their names. And I don't think that happens ever. The last time we had a shutdown was, what was it, 2019 or 2018? And I think that lasted very long, and it doesn't have to be that way. They can talk about one or two concessions and then come back to the drawing board. I think what you've had meetings canceled by President Trump. You've had him traveling around the world for leisure. You've had Congress, the GOP Congress and Speaker Johnson aren't even in D.C. right now. So you got a lot of people should just come to the table and work for.
So you would say that this is the failure of leadership, and I want all you guys to jump in by any means. What you think that this is the operation or failure of leadership? Would you say is coming from Trump down? Because that's what I'm hearing coming from Russell's side.
Well, the Democrats get in this today, right?
Absolutely.
Chuck Schumer could just whip up the votes. So I don't understand why they don't do it. People are suffering, and most tragic are low-income mothers and infants that can't get food subsidies. We don't support, in MAGA, we're really against corporate welfare and international welfare in the form of members of NATO not paying their fair share. But assistance for single mothers, for widows, for the poor, that kind of thing, that's not something that we look to end. And this is something that Democrats have effectively ceased as of today, which is absolutely insane.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because we just heard that instead of getting furloughed and back pay, that some people will just get fired. And if they get fired, that didn't happen in the past. Those are policies that are brought in by this administration.
You raised an excellent point. I'm going to do something shocking. I'm not going to actually agree with him.
Yeah,
and that was stated last night.
So
You're right, which is crazy. I don't know why the Democrats are going to take the fall for enacting Trump's policy agenda. He's definitely done an end run around them. There's certain federal employees that he couldn't fire, but now without this pay, there could be permanent furloughs. And now the Democrats are going to take the political hit to achieve the Trump agenda, probably the most unpopular part about the Trump agenda. So I have no idea why the Democrats are doing this. I think they're committing political suicide come 2026.
Yeah, I don't think they are. I think what's happening is they want to push some things in to make sure people have health care. U.S. citizens, mind you, that they have
illegals in California or New York.
Right? No, they're not. They're working to help U.S. citizens. And we know that there are some cuts that they put in the big, beautiful bill that won't take place until after 2026 elections, so they can pretend like they don't know what's in there. There are even Republicans who've shared issue with this as well. Across the board, though, both parties have to take ownership. The problem is everybody wants to point fingers, and when you're pointing fingers, nothing's going to get done. They have to sit down at the table and work things out. You have people from different parties give one or two concessions, and then get the budget, get everything passed. Get people.
My understanding is that Trump was
real fast, all of you, before we get ready to go to a break. But at the end of the day, when there was a conversation to be had, somewhere it was missed, because we should have never gotten to a midnight shutdown if we were able to work across the line instead of pointing fingers in the beginning. So somewhere it was missed. So my question goes back to, do we believe it was missed because of President Trump, J.D. Vance? Where did it get missed at? Because someone do need to take accountability for the failure of us having a shutdown right now.
Well, this is the left putting illegals over citizens again. I mean, California and New York do reimburse Medicaid for illegal immigrants.
Real fast, David, let's go to Audra, because she lives in California. So, Audra, what do you say? Like 30 seconds before we go to break.
It's to help the American citizens. The whole thing about illegal immigrants, they cannot qualify for federal. They only qualify for an emergency purpose. And I had this conversation on a couple of Twitter posts. What people fail to realize, especially here in California, I cannot talk about New York. I don't live in New York, but in California, we have a supplement called Medi-Cal. And so that's where our state taxes does help subsidize for illegal immigrants, but for Medicaid.
Excuse me, don't go to where I promise. We coming right back. We'll touch this a little bit. We get ready to take a quick commercial break. You know, guys, it's getting heated up here. We'll be right back. We have Aja, David, and Russell. We're getting ready to come back to break down Trump's urban threats and then cloaked power. Don't go anywhere. This is Americana. Hello, social media family. Thanks for staying with us during this commercial break. As you see, we got a show for you today. So don't forget to follow us on all platforms. And remember, you can catch us Monday through Friday right here at 6:30 p.m. on Comcast Xfinity, channel 1623. Have a question for you. Do you feel this shutdown was needed? Leave your answers and thoughts in the comment section below, and let's get back to the show. All right, everyone, welcome back to Americana. I told you we got a show for you today. We have Aja, we have Russell, we have David. It is going to be a show. Now, we're getting ready to get into something that is happening right now, not out just with our shutdown. President Trump publicly threatened to send U.S. military forces into Democratic-run cities like New York and Chicago, calling them in bad shape. I wish I could do his voice. Bad shape, bigly. But before we get into anything else, let's watch a clip because I think this ties together. Let's watch this clip real fast.
Look, guys, there's no way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, you know, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too. Look, guys.
Ooh, this was actually posted on President Trump's Truth Social account. You already know that President Trump has no problem posting some things. So I want to tie this in because do you think with all this stuff going on with him basically policing these places, was that racist or just poor taste? What are your thoughts? Aja, jump in first and then pass it around. What do you think?
Very poor taste because his biggest minority base was Hispanic and Latino. And some of my Hispanic and Latino Republicans, by the way, I am a registered Republican. I am a Republican. They were like, why did he stereotype this and then did that to Hakeem Jeffries? They really said that was in very poor taste, while his biggest minority base were the Hispanic and Latino community. So they did feel offended by it. So to me, that was just very poor taste to do that.
David.
Yeah,
Russell, go ahead.
It's not just poor taste, but just the candor and conduct of a person who is the commander-in-chief of the U.S. military. To post something like that on social media sets the worst example possible. I mean, to be honest, my niece who's in second grade probably wouldn't even find that funny. So it's really bad taste, poor taste. But I think it's also racial as well. And there was no need for that. Now, he has the right to do so. He's exercising his First Amendment right. Can't be surprised that other people are replying in certain fashions. I wish you had the rebuttal of Speaker Hakeem Jeffries. he had a minority leader rather. He had a.
I think Trump calls him Dollar Store Obama.
Huh?
You said what?
I think Trump calls him Dollar Store Obama, Hakeem Jeffries, on Twitter, maybe.
Which models his lack of maturity as well.
Well,
And
can we agree
really
that Trump
serious,
really hasn't changed in the past 8 years, 9 years?
I mean,
Yeah, but not like this.
He's pretty much the same
Yeah.
guy, right? I mean, he made these inflammatory tweets 8, 9, 10 years ago, right?
Well, let's talk about this. Because we're talking about the troops, because that was interesting to tie it together. Now, when we talk about the troops, because I want to talk about this racist thing, because people are saying he's racist. So how does such rhetoric, not what we just also saw, but when we also look into what has happened in these places where he's saying, I'm sending these troops into Democrat-red cities, how does this rhetoric impact civil trust, law enforcement, and public safety?
Well, real quick on this last one, I didn't get a chance to answer, but minorities have expanded their support of Donald Trump from 2016 to record numbers in 2020, and even beyond those record numbers in 2020. So minorities really don't mind this. Minorities have a sense of humor, are very intelligent in the United States, and they get a joke when they see one.
Do you really think that they have a sense of humor? Because this is why I want the time, because when I hear from people, they're like, they're like sick of President Trump and the things when it's.
Well, that's what I was getting to. He hasn't changed in this, 8 years. I mean, he's made the same kind of statements. Who would disagree? And so he's only increased his minority support. In fact, the only large majority Kamala Harris won in the 2024 election was among atheists. That's about it. He expanded in every minority group.
So speaking of race, this is why I went to this. Russell, you can answer this and tie it all together. But back to the part about being in, sending these troops to Democrat-ran cities, which most would say would be the black and brown communities, that is racist. That's why I wanted to play that clip, because it seems like right now, is this racist rhetoric being stirred back up? And, what do you think, Russell, if you can tie it into what you were getting ready to say?
Yeah, I think it's implicit racism when he's going to the cities where the mayors are all people of color. He's potentially going there. He's usurping their power. He's using the National Guard. He's trying to intimidate and threaten these persons. And mind you, these are the cities who've already shown that they have crime rates that have been reduced in the last year or two. So he's not going to the state like Oklahoma or Arkansas, who actually have some of the worst crime numbers in the nation, which he could easily go to those, but he's going to the places like Memphis. He's threatening Chicago. He's threatening Baltimore.
Well, Tennessee is a red state, right?
Well, before you go there, because
a red state,
it seems like he called you out. I don't know, Russ, if you know this, but David is in Oklahoma. So what do you feel about him targeting Oklahoma? What do you feel about that?
We have pretty low crime in our largest city, but our second largest city, Tulsa, does hit above its weight class. So Russell's right. There definitely is a crime problem there.
All right, so
but you look at these urban areas, and they're monolithically run for 10, 50, 60 years by Democrats in the city council, mayoral races, and so on and so forth. Even their elected representatives that go to the state capital or the Washington, D.C. are Democrats.
Well, we're getting ready to take a trip, everyone, to China. Cloaked power. China is pushing the frontier of invisibility, developing metamaterials and camouflage that bend light, hide aircraft from radar, and even make objects vanish to the human eye. The battlefield of tomorrow may be invisible. So let's go. Trump loves China. If military force can vanish, how do democracy hold aggressors accountable? Is this something they're working on to come and get us? Aja?
I believe so. I mean, when you've had that as the topic, I was like, wait a minute, let me brush up on this. That's a little bit scary as well, because that means our adversaries, definitely the CCP and other adversaries, can definitely come in here and spy on us even more. More surveillance, they could be in rooms. And so this is something that's really sounds like out of a sci-fi movie in Hollywood and everything, but maybe Hollywood did warn us a long time ago with all these movies, Harry Potter, all those places. But this is something that can devastate our intelligence. I mean, look at AI. AI has always been on the issue of, will we know what's real or not before we attack? And that was something that was discussed when I was in the military. So when we see videos and when we see things that are projected. Well, I'll name the Middle East as an example. How do we know if it's real? How do we know if it's AI? So now China's developing to have something more advanced. So that's where we're going to have to up our national security even more.
Ooh, yes, because there's a lot going on. And China has been doing some crazy stuff. Could cloaking technology really actually change the balance of global power overnight? Because China seems to be doing something. So you think this is an overnight thing they're working on, and now we're just knowing about it?
Yes, they've been doing it.
I'm going to agree with them. See, I mean, China works on things. Anything that comes public means they've been working on it for like 10 years. So that means we're 10 years behind on the response. Now, get us somebody that's the Secretary of Defense that has some experience at the general and admiral level, and perhaps we'd be more prepared for it. But because we have a novice person in there, we're probably not as prepared as we should be right now.
Yeah, we have a reality star.
Well,
okay.
We have civilian leadership of the military in the United States, so if people don't like that, they might move to a country they have a military
I have nothing against
We don't have
it.
that
I mean,
in the
as
United
a
States of
veteran,
America.
As a veteran myself,
many of our
like
commanders have never served.
I served under 3 presidents and seen other secretaries of defense, and he is absolutely.
Well, I mean, as you stated, it's been about 10 years or more since China developed this technology. Pete Hegseth has been in for maybe 8 months. So this happened under the generals, the professional military class. And this is why Trump's trade war is so important with China. We are funding this technology with our trade imbalance. And Trump is righting that wrong with the trade war against China, which has been devastating.
Well, see, the thing is that if our Secretary of Defense is in the past, see, they could have been working on something. They just wouldn't tell us, right? It's like, again, even we do that same thing. I actually have a background where I used to work in defense industry. And more often than not, we work on projects that were not known to the public. So they could be working on something like this. But it does take being at the high level of comprehension and understanding, not having a grandstanding meeting and calling 800
I think it's a great
Russell,
point.
everybody, y'all, we're going to bring you back. We're going to the biggest thing with that is transparency. They should have been transparent if they were back then during that time. Well, thank you, Aja. Thank you, David. Thank you, Russell. This has definitely been a show.
Thank you, everyone.
That's a wrap for today's episode on Americana. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, only on AFRO TV. Until then, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep showing up. You just heard from the X-Men. So y'all have a great, great Wednesday. Enjoy your month.